Alright, Warrior Nation, we want to tell you, you can now find Warriors of Wrestling on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, at Warriors of Wrestling, and please join over 160,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. And for all matches and events, check out gumroad.com. It is now time for our singles match, and this match will be scheduled for one fall. Introducing first in the far corner to my left, he is fighting out of Staten Island, New York, and weighing in this evening at 180 pounds. He looks like a wrestler, he fights like a wrestler, because he is a wrestler, Roger Mendez! In the corner to my right, he is fighting tonight out of Staten Island, New York, and weighed in at 10,000 calories even. He is the king of Staten Island. This is the OG Pimp. Welcome back, TK Luthor!
Welcome back, Warrior Nation. I'm Chris Scott. This is Warriors of Wrestling. The return of TK Luthor back in a Warrior ring, going up toe-to-toe with Roger Mendez. These two have had some words with one another, especially Roger calling out TK Luthor. Going for a quick pin attempt is Mendez. Roger says that he looks like a wrestler, talks like a wrestler, because he is a wrestler, as he just said there. Whereas TK Luthor does not fight like a wrestler, look like a wrestler, or at all in any way, shape, or form perform like a wrestler. Roger Mendez does not have respect for anyone at Warriors of Wrestling, absolutely no one, including the veterans and alumni of this great organization. He is on a path of taking down everyone, and he believes that the Warriors of Wrestling show is his show. Going for a pin attempt, just a 1 count. But Mendez believes he is better than TK Luthor in every which way. The video released on YouTube calling out TK Luthor in his return. He specifically requested to be the first man that TK Luthor faced in his return to a Warriors ring. Got a hold of that arm. Now has a hold of both arms. Roger trying to get out of it. TK Luthor taking his time, slowing down the pace to his preference. Now, even though TK Luthor may look a little bit out of shape, he just said it's been a while. This is not a man to take lightly. He is a former No Limits champion. He is a former Warriors of Wrestling Tag Team champion. He's not someone to overlook. He is an opportunist. And of course, you gotta watch out for that stomach of steel, which I don't know how is so powerful. Bouncing off the ropes is TK Luthor with a shoulder block takedown there. As for Mendez, he's a very balanced wrestler. He's a young guy in the locker room, establishing himself as a true competitor. I'm sure he will soon compete for a serious belt here at Warriors of Wrestling. And as for TK Luthor, you know, he can also be a stepping stone for Mendez. Mendez taking down Luthor. Going for a pin attempt, 1. Just a 1 count. Got a hold of that neck. Now, the reason why I say stepping stone, going for a pin attempt here again, just a 1. Mendez continuing his assault, his verbal assault on Joey Ace, trying to get him in a Warriors ring so they can go one-on-one at some point. Mendez calling Joey Ace a stepping stone. He's saying, you're a man of the past, and I'm going to use you to my advantage as a stepping stone. You could say the same using TK Luthor. As I mentioned before, a former No Limits champion. And you can see that stomach is still as destructive as always. Going for a pin on Mendez. Just a 2 count. Mendez, using that stomach again is TK Luthor. Spinning around the back. Mendez, I guess, underestimated the strength of TK Luthor. A lot of weight to that man on the back of Mendez. Mendez is going to need that back strength to lift up Luthor. Mendez really nursing that back now. I'm sure TK will target it. A strike to the stomach doesn't do anything to TK. Hard strike there. TK not phased too much, but that did a little bit of damage. Apparently that stomach is now normal. Ooh, knee strike to the stomach, and that actually did some damage. Roger Mendez bouncing, flying over the ropes. Oof. Lands on the apron. That's the hardest part of the ring. TK Luthor now throw to the top of the rope. I guess you could say Roger Mendez is the man that broke the stomach of steel to TK Luthor. That is something no one's been able to do. Going after the jaw, leaving on the middle rope, and now choking him out. At a 3 count, can't get to 5, gets off of him. Of course, these two have completely opposite physiques. They both are respectable competitors. Oof. Oh. Constantly going after the chest of TK. Mendez going for a pin. 1. Just a 1 count. Doesn't seem to be nursing that back anymore. I think he's recovered. But TK Luthor has to mount some offense here. Mendez in complete control. Now he's targeting the back of Luthor. The former No Limits champion making his return to Warriors, but I think he's in trouble here. I'm sure he wanted to come back victorious. Trying him out to come back. There's a couple strikes, another one. But he can barely stand up, and Mendez sees that. He sees that TK's winded. Mendez with a gut wrench suplex on the big man. Going for the pin. 1, 2, just a 2 count. You know, Mendez may look a little bit smaller, but he definitely has some muscle mass. Body fat percentage is certainly lower. He's releasing videos online, working out in nature, lifting up rocks and stones and tree trunks and all that. This is a man who's really taking this profession seriously and taking care of his body. As for TK Luthor, he finds his way to win matches, but man, Roger Mendez seems to have his number early on. Oof. Another strike to the back. TK barely able to stand at this point. I think he's been outside the ring a little bit too long. Looking very winded. There's a slap to the face, but TK seems to be mad. Now shoving Roger into the corner. There's a chop. There's another chop, and Luthor's fired up. Full force ahead, misses that strike as he ran full force to the corner. Mendez looking to put it away. There's a Russian leg sweep, and that could do it. Here's the pin. 1, 2, no, not enough. But TK Luthor grasping for air, as you can see that hand. Mendez looking very fresh, shoving that knee to the back.
How do you like it, huh? How do you like it?
Now toying with TK Luthor. Rolling him over, going for the pin. 1, 2, not enough. TK still in it. But Mendez in clear control. What does Mendez have to do to put away TK, and what does TK have to do to get back in this contest? That's the question. Mendez measuring up Luthor, trying to go for the end. If he hits that cutter, it's all over. Luthor slow to roll back over, but Mendez has a hold. Can he lift him up? I don't think he can. Trying to lift him up for that German suplex. But there's Luthor getting out of it and going with a clothesline. There's a back elbow strike. Stuck in the corner, full force ahead, body splash on Mendez. A lot of body weight meeting the face of Mendez, another strike. There's that kick. Going to the pin, that could be it. 1, 2, no. Mendez kicking out just in time. Oh, man. Mendez was not expecting TK Luthor to have a second win there. Luthor signaling the end, pumping up that knee. Oh, wait a minute! Trying to go for the cutter was Mendez. He missed it. Trying to go for it again. Can't get it. There's a third attempt. He cannot nail it. TK sees it coming, creating that distance, and able to anticipate. Uh-oh, he misses that kick. Mendez with a hard strike on Luthor. Luthor is seeing stars.
That's not different now. Your boys over here. There's no Tony. There's no Jose. There's no Kama. You're a goddamn failure just like that. Woo!
Whoa.
Nothing you did matter.
Whoa. Shots fired on TK Luthor,
You know,
saying all his friends are gone.
We made disappointed of a failure that they have.
Wow. TK Luthor fired up, taking down Mendez. Doesn't like those words by Mendez. He's fired up, shoving those fists to him. Referee trying to get him off.
Get off!
Referee gets TK off of Mendez. I think Mendez struck a nerve. And there's a cutter on Luthor. He baited Luthor. He baited him. Oh, here's the pin by Mendez. 1, 2, 3.
Easy now! Easy now!
The winner of this contest, Roger Mendez.